Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and we are back looking at the Steam Deck. I know it's been a little while. I do apologize for the lack of uploads with this, but I also want to say sincerely, thank you so much for the support on my previous uploads. I've been kind of branching out a little bit with my content, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it throughout 2023 with the new year. And by the way, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time with your friends and family. With 2023, I have some big goals in mind. I really truly want to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is my ultimate goal. And with this insanely growing community, I truly think that is a possibility. So I just can't thank you guys enough for all the love and support this past year. I can't wait to see what 2023 brings for us. But with all that being said, this is the first video in this brand new series. I don't have a name for it just yet, but obviously you guys have seen the title of the video already, so you know that I came up with one. Essentially what I'm doing in these videos, I'm going to be taking random games. It can be any game. It can be from the far past, like from an emulator or some sort, or all the way to the newest AAA games that are just coming out. Essentially, I'm going to spend the entire video on that one game, showing you guys the performance and if it works with the Steam Deck. I'm going to have a rating system of yes, it does work and it works great. A so-and-so, which means it works, but you're going to have some issues here and there and some minor tinkering to get it working properly, and then is flat out no. Now, what that means, I'm obviously not going to make videos on games that just do not launch at all or don't work on the Steam Deck. There wouldn't be any content there, and you guys wouldn't want to see that anyway. What I mean by a no is essentially, yes, the game launches, yes, the game works, but is it really playable? Is it in a state where you literally could sit down and actually play this for more than an hour and have a good time? If it's basically no, you know, if you get in like 25 frames or lower a second, even the lowest settings, in my opinion, that's a no. That game would not be playable on the Steam Deck. So I'm hoping this series helps with you guys. I hope I end up looking at video games that you are looking at and are interested in getting a Steam Deck for. And that being said, the last portion of this series that I'm very excited about is I will be taking suggestions straight from the comment section of these videos. So on any type of these videos, leave a comment with what game you would like me to test out on the Steam Deck, and if I end up choosing your game, I will highlight your comment in the next video. Sort of like a little shout out just to kind of give you my appreciation for commenting and giving me some suggestions for future videos. That being said, this first one is going to be on Forza Horizon 5. There is one thing I do want to say off the bat is this game out of the gate, like if you just purchase it, which I did yesterday, by the way, you purchase it on Steam and you boot it up, it does not work right off the bat. And I know it kind of contradicts what I said at the very beginning, but this is a very easy fix. So I think this one kind of is a little bit of a loophole to get past that. So the way to fix the game and to actually get it to launch is you want to go over to the settings here. You want to go down to properties. You want to go to compatibility, and you want to force the use of a specific Steam Play compatibility tool. Now, I'm using Proton Experimental. I've heard from other people they've used different Proton versions and they got it to work as well. This is the one that I would recommend, and this is not out of the box on your Steam Deck. I'm not going to tell you how to exactly get Proton Experimental because it's a little bit of a hassle and it involves a couple downloads, but there are thousands of tutorials out there. So go check out how to get Proton Experimental. Once you've gotten that, come back to this video and make sure that is the one selected for the compatibility. The next and final thing you're going to have to do, and again, this is kind of weird, but it's how I got it to work. Go over to the controller settings for Forza. Once you're in here, we're going to go down to the enable back grip buttons. Make sure this is now enabled. It's off by default. And we're going to change the L4 button to your Alt key on the keyboard. I know it sounds kind of weird, but trust me on this. And you're also going to change your R4 button to the Enter key on the keyboard. Again, make sure it's on keyboard. And once you've gotten that down, you can actually remove the commands from L5 and R5 if you like, because you're not going to be using those. And essentially what this is going to do is when you boot up the game, there's not going to be anything on the display. It's just going to be a black screen with audio. You're going to be very confused like I was. And this is how you fix that. So once you boot it up and you have these controller configurations ready to go, once you start hearing audio, you want to hit the back left button and right button at the same time. Basically just hold them down together. And boom, you will have video. So with that being said, let's jump into the game. We'll get it booted up. I'll have the statistics up here and we can see what kind of performance we get on the Steam Deck. All right, so we got the game booted up. It is running now on the Steam Deck. And I'm running everything off stock, by the way. I don't have any special mods or anything with the Steam Deck other than the Decky plugins. So everything is straight out of the box. If you open your Steam Deck and download the game, this is what you'd be getting for performance. In terms of the actual settings here, of anything I've changed, I do have it set to a frame limit of 40 with a refresh rate of 40 as well. We'll get into this in a little bit, but essentially this is the best way I could get a constant 40 frames a second on the game at lowest settings without it dipping below 40. Personally, I don't really see a big difference between 40 frames and 60. That's just me. I know some people see it differently, and I totally understand that. And we'll go into the settings on what you can do to get a proper 30 frames a second if you would rather have that. Other than that, though, I don't have anything else. I don't have scaling filters on or anything like that. So I'll go down into the graphics settings here. So again, preset is on low. And for the video settings, we are running it at 720p with a 60 frame limit. We do have VSync on. I'm going to turn that off for right now. So again, these are all just this is what the game gave me when I booted it up. I didn't change any of this. So I'm changing that now. Let's leave this at 720p, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn on FSR scaling to make it a little bit of a sharper image. And we'll leave the graphics at low for right now and just see what kind of performance we get when we get into the game. All right, so we are in. I'm using a Bluetooth controller, so that's how I'm able to play right now. Seems to be running pretty solidly. We're at a steady 40 right now. And I'm going to play like terrible, by the way, because I'm actually looking at my secondary monitor to play. I'm not looking at the Steam Deck. Yes, the gameplay, like the quality looks better for you guys, but it's extremely hard for me to play this way, but I'll deal with it, don't worry. But yeah, we are getting a steady 40, which is looking really clean. Going to the cockpit view. Now, my camera might be picking up the individual pixels from the Steam Deck, but trust me, you don't see that in real life. That's just my camera. Broke my windshield because I'm a terrible driver. So like I said, playing this at 40 hertz with 40 frames a second, it truly feels fluid. It feels just like 60 to me. So I would highly recommend trying that out first, just so you can feel like what playing this at 60 FPS on the Steam Deck would actually feel like. Now, again, if you used 40 frames a second before at 40 hertz and it doesn't feel that way, maybe you see flickering or something like that, because there are people who sadly have to deal with that. In that case, let's try switching it to 30 and see what we get here for performance. So I'm going to change this back to a 60 hertz display. And we're going to switch this to a 30 frame limit. And you can definitely tell in the smoothness factor has gone down a little bit, because that sadly is the downside to going to 30 frames. But hey, it's running perfectly. I mean, this is definitely playable, especially for a racing game. And a game this gorgeous, even at low settings, this looks so good on the Steam Deck. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the FSR upscaling or what, but yeah, even at low settings, this game is still gorgeous. And I'm a horrible driver. I apologize. Ooh. All right, so that's 30 cap. Let's leave the cap off. And let's see what we can get here for max frames. So right now we are actually getting 60. And that might be because I turned the VSync off. Because by the way, in case you guys didn't know, Steam Deck has a built-in VSync, so you don't need that on in the games. It's actually just doing a detriment to your specs in general, so yeah, always turn that off. Wow, yeah, you can get a pretty good 60 frames here. There are some dips here and there, especially when I got in that accident. But it is 100% playable. Ooh, there was a pretty big dip there. That's my thing, is like, yeah, you can get 60. Like, you can definitely hit 60 frames, maybe even more than that with Forza, but problem is you're gonna from time to time get those little dips, and for me and my OCD, it's a little annoying. So I recommend keeping it at 30 or doing the 40 hertz little change there, so that you never dip below what you're supposed to be at, and it just feels fluid throughout the entire experience. Man, I can't tell you how difficult this is, like playing sideways. That's why I'm just running into trees, because I don't know what I'm doing. But this is a good showcase on the performance, thankfully. I am curious. Let's move the resolution up to the native screen resolution of the Steam Deck instead of putting it at 720. I normally do leave most of my games at 720 anyway, just for better performance, but this is completely up to you, of course. But I'm just curious, what will be the main differences of switching to the 1280 by 800? And actually not even much of a difference, to be honest. And of course, if you are using the native resolution of the Steam Deck, there's no reason to have FSR scaling on, so I would turn that off normally. And the fans aren't even that loud either. I'm actually surprised. It's not running too difficult to run this game. And I know some people are going to be curious about this, so let's change it. Let's change the graphic settings to something like medium. So we're going to go to graphics. We're going to change the preset to medium. We're going to save. We'll also do the same thing on high, and then I think there is an ultra. Let's face it, there's no way ultra is going to run on the Steam Deck, but you know, just for fun, we'll do that with every single one of these games and every single one of these videos. So now we're running the graphics on the medium preset. I'm really curious to see what we get for frames here. I'm probably expecting below 30s, but you know, who knows? You know, actually, so far I'm impressed. This is a lot better than I expected. It's definitely dipping though. We're getting some lag spikes. But we're above 30, which is crazy. I did not think we'd get above 30. So obviously in this situation, we are going to have to put a cap on the frames. So let's put it at 30 and just see how well it runs. Oh yeah, this is solid. So you could easily run this at medium specs. You don't have to run it at low. I'm sure this will run at 40 hertz as well. But yeah, steady 30, no problem. 60 hertz. Let's try it at 40 hertz, the 40 frame limit. This would be the way that I would probably play it the most, because it feels like 60, even though obviously we're at 40. But I am noticing a few dips below 40 here and there. So it's one of those situations. Do you prefer having better visuals, but you know, slower performance, or do you like performance over visuals? I'm more of a performance guy versus visuals. So even on my high-end gaming PC, I'll still lower the graphics just to get the highest FPS possible. Just 'cause I love having high FPS and I love having a smooth gameplay experience, even if it is a little bit less, you know, pretty to look at. But this is perfectly playable. I mean, I'm pretty much steady 40 right now. After the video's over, I'll probably leave it on low settings just so I get that optimal performance, because it really doesn't look that much different from medium to low. I'm not gonna lie. All right, that's medium. Let's try it on high. And maybe it'll have to do a restart again. Hope not, but we'll see. Oh, wow, yeah. All right, we'll see you guys in a minute. All right, so we are now on high settings. Oh goodness, this is gonna be rough, isn't it? Let's bring it back to 60 hertz. We'll do no cap on the frames. I'm going to turn FSR scaling off for this, by the way. I forgot to do that before. Wow, again, I'm impressed, man. The Steam Deck every time blows me away. Even at high settings on Forza 5, we are getting above 30. We're cracking 54 frames. No way. Like, again, this isn't how I'd play the game, because I would get annoyed with, you know, under 60 frames, but this is 100% playable. It's not lagging or nothing. That's wild to me, man. And that's why I love doing these kind of videos, though, because even I learned stuff that, you know, I wouldn't have otherwise. I wouldn't have tried this. All right, so that's at no cap 60. Let's just do it at 30, you know, just to see if it stays at a steady 30. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, 100% playable. Holy crap. Yeah, you can play this at high. Man, guys, on this little screen, this game looks amazing. Like, I was playing this on my 4K monitor earlier on my gaming PC, and this game's beautiful, but when you can play this on the go like this, natively, without streaming it or anything, it just blows my mind. Another benefit of doing this, lowering the hertz, is battery life. You gain a lot of battery life doing it this way. So again, if you can play like this and you don't mind it, if it doesn't flicker for you or nothing, highly recommend it. Wow. Yeah, a couple dips below 40, but I mean that I'm not noticing it. Right there, I noticed a little bit of a dip, but yeah, it's playable. Man, I was not expecting this. I was ready to be like, yep, all right, back to medium again, because there's no way you'd play on high. Wow. The fans are revving a little higher now. I can hear them. So if you don't mind a hot handhold, I mean, this would be the way to play. That was high. Let's, you know, I'm sure there's an ultra setting. Are we gonna have me yep. There's an extreme. I didn't know that. Okay. Should we just jump the gun and go to extreme? I'd hate to have to restart it like 3 more times. I'm gonna try it. We're just jump the gun, we go to extreme and see what happens, all right? If this doesn't work, I'm actually pretty sure at this point ultra would work. We would just get, you know, it'd probably be below 30 at that point, but I'm gonna try it. Let's give it a shot. We'll restart it. We'll be back. Alrighty, here we go. We are on, I believe, 60 hertz. Yep, no frame limit. Extreme. Oh god. To be honest, the fact this hasn't just crashed completely that's mind-blowing me right now. But yeah, we're below 30 frames. Definitely not playable. I would not play it at this mode. But if we just stop the car, if we stop moving, wow. Wow, the still image here of the car is amazing. That's so pretty on this little screen. It's just hilarious that the fact that it runs to me is a detriment. Like that's just crazy. It's astounding is what I meant to say, not detriment, sorry. It's an astounding that it runs at all. But before the Steam Deck explodes, I'm gonna move everything back to probably where I would keep it in terms of settings. I do think that you could play this game at medium, no problem, but to be honest, there really wasn't much of a difference in my eye in terms of quality going from low to medium. So I'm gonna personally leave my game at low settings, and this is just, again, so you have the ultimate experience in terms of performance with no lag or anything, and you can play the entire game of Forza 5 with no issues. All right, so yep, we're back at the low settings again. I have it in my personal preference, so I have it at 40 hertz, 40 frame cap, and this is the way that I'm probably going to play the rest of the game on the go. I mean, it still looks fluid as hell, it still looks great even on low settings, and it doesn't drain the battery nearly as fast, and the fans aren't running nearly as hot on the Steam Deck, so this is the ultimate way to play Forza 5, in my opinion. Now, if you guys have your own thoughts, please let me know in the comment section below. How have you been playing Forza 5 on the Steam Deck? Have you been enjoying it? What are your personal settings for your best performance or best looking game? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And of course, leave a comment on what game you'd like me to test out next or the next game in this series. These are supposed to be bite-sized videos. I know this one's probably going to be about 10 minutes or longer even. So I apologize about that. I promise I'll try to get these to be shorter in the future. I think this one just ran a little bit longer than normal because we had to keep restarting the system, or restarting the game to change the graphic settings, which shouldn't be a thing in most games, hopefully. So, with that though, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for the amazing 2022 year, and let's hope for an amazing 2023 as well. So hopefully, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out. Hey guys, Nick here once again, and I just wanted to pop into the very end of the video to give a special shout out to my channel members. If you don't know what a channel member is, essentially these wonderful people are using their hard-earned money to help keep the channel alive. So that's why I want to give a huge shout out to these guys, because they're amazing. And if you want to become a member yourself, you can do it as easily just by clicking on the little join button below every single one of my uploads, or just by going to my channel. There is 4 different tiers depending on how much you would like to support each month, and you can join for as little as $2 a month. And trust me, even if it's $2, it helps a ton, and it adds up at the end of the month so that I can get more games for you guys to review or make retrospective videos on, or to buy new technology such as new computer parts, or really anything to keep the channel afloat and to make more content for you guys. So with that, thank you so much to Thrasher the Black Stallion, Vinny Severiman, Bacon Spaceman, my wife Way Lady, and Hull Healers Boat World. You guys are all amazing, and thank you so much for all the wonderful support. This channel is just growing and growing every single day, and I can't wait to see where this channel leads us. So with that, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Peace.